Hey guys, Ominous here, and oh man, do I have a crazy deck for you today. It involves Clefable and Togekiss, and I like to call this deck Clefkiss, because it is perfect and deserves a nice little chef's kiss. But honestly, the most important card here is Togekiss. You're going to want to get this up and running as fast as possible, because that move Overdrive is incredible. And Clefable is in this deck as two things. One, protection, so you can build up Togekiss. And two, it can hit fast with just one energy, dealing 40 damage. I went on an insane run with this deck, destroying tons and tons of varieties of decks. I think you guys will also enjoy it, but enough of that. Here's some gameplay. I go first. I draw a Rocky Helmet, decide to put that on Clefairy because I know next turn he'll definitely attack with Palkia, so I'll at least do some damage. Decide to use Professor's Research, don't really get anything good, and my turn. Just like I thought, he decides to attack, doing 30 damage on me. Rocky Helmet does 20 damage on him, and now it's my turn. Luckily, I draw a Togepi, which is great. I decide to use my Professor's Research to see what I get. End up getting a Sabrina and a Pokeball. Decide to use the Pokeball to get my second Togepi. I now decide to put one of the Togepi down, and I debate for it a little bit and decide, you know what, let's try to risk it. I'm going to use the Pokemon Communication on the Togepi, and let's see if I can get Clefable, which would be clutch. I do. So now I get to evolve Clefairy into Clefable and deal 40 damage and be able to survive another turn when he attacks. The Rocky Helmet's really coming in clutch. I dealt 20 damage. End up drawing a Togetic. Evolve Togepi into Togetic. Attach an energy. Gonna attack with Clefable. Drop him down to 30. So even if he attacks me next turn, I should survive by 10. And then I can knock him out with Clefable. They decided to retreat using Leaf, which is a smart idea because I would have definitely destroyed him with Clefable. But I do have that Cyrus in my hand, which I'll be able to bring that Palkia back into the active spot and knock him out with Clefable. Decide why not, let's add the Giant Cape onto Togetic, give it a little more HP. Now I'm going to use Cyrus on that Palkia, bring it forward, and time to knock it out with Clefable to get 2 points. honestly a great move by them to use a Mars, so I put my 3 cards back in my deck and draw 1. Unfortunately, it's the 1 card I need, and that's Togekiss, which I'll be able to evolve Togekiss into next turn. So I evolved Togekiss into Togekiss, and I decide to keep Clefable in the active spot and attack. That's because I'm going to deal 40 damage now. The next turn when he attacks me, Rocky Helmet will also do another 20 damage, bringing it down to 70. Now I've basically won it from here. Once I use Overdrive, it'll do 60 damage this turn with an additional 60 next turn, so I can knock out any of my opponent's Pokemon next turn in 1 hit, so I win the game. Going first again, and this time I actually start with Togepi as my first Pokemon on the active spot. Decide to use my Pokeball first. It ends up pulling me Clefairy. I then decide to use Professor's Research, and 2 cards it ends up giving me is Pokemon Communication and Togekiss, which is clutch. Because of the Togekiss and the Pokemon Communication, I decide to end my turn without putting Clefairy, because next turn I might as well use a Pokemon Communication to get a Togetic to evolve Togepi. I actually end up drawing a Clefable, which is perfect. So now I can use a Pokemon Communication, and I will automatically get a Togetic. So I can evolve Togepi into Togetic, attack this turn with Fairy Wind, dealing 40 damage, and then next turn evolve it into Togekiss. because he has Haunter, Duskull, and Hypno, which all three of them can be an issue, I decide to Sabrina, see which one he'll throw in. Luckily, he throws in Duskull, so now I'll evolve Togekiss into Togekiss, use that Overdrive Smash, and get rid of him. Decide here that I'm going to put the energy on Togepi, use Professor's Research. I end up drawing a Rocky Helmet and a Leaf. Rocky Helmet I decide to put on Togekiss because I know once I destroy this Sigilyph, Gengar's most likely going to come in, attack, leave me at 10 HP, but also take 20 damage from this hit. I think he realizes that I'll be able to deal 120 damage next turn. He'd only win 1 point, and then my Togepi or Clefairy could destroy him to win the game, so he ends up conceding. I end up going first again, and I actually have Togepi and Clefairy. I also have Clefable in my hand already, so I decide to start off with Clefairy, because next turn I'll be able to attach an energy, evolve Clefairy into Clefable, and be able to attack. Decide, I drew the Rocky Helmet, put it on Clefairy just in case he attacks, it'll deal some kind of damage. Use Professor's Research to draw 2 cards, and then end my turn. He ends up deciding not to attack, most likely because of the Rocky Helmet and doesn't want to take any damage. This is great for me because now I also don't take any damage from his attack. So we're going to start off with Professor's Research. I end up drawing 2 cards, one of which is a Pokeball. Use that Pokeball, and that gives me my other Togepi. Now it is time to evolve Togepi into Togetic and Clefairy into Clefable. I attach an energy to Clefable, put Togepi down, and then I attack, dealing 40 damage and get hit with the 20 from the Rocky Helmet. It ends up being good that I put that Togepi on the bench because he ends up using Sabrina. I decide to switch in the Togepi. He's going to poison him with Ghastly and attack, and that's going to do 40 damage, leaving Togepi at 10 HP, still being able to survive. Would have been better off just attacking my Clefable and poisoning him. Now, I evolve Togetic into Togekiss, put an energy, use Leaf to retreat Togepi, put Clefable back up, and now Clefable's going to deal 40 damage to him. And now with Togekiss in the active spot and Weezing at only 50 HP, this is where I can dominate the game. Overdrive Smash can destroy this Weezing, and if he evolves Coughing into Weezing next turn, it only has 110 HP, and Overdrive Smash is going to do 120. And just like that, opponent decides to concede the game. End up going second this turn. Anytime I have both Clefairy and Togepi in my first hand, I will always put Clefairy in the active spot. That is so that way I can keep evolving Togepi into Togekiss, because that is our main force. My turn, and I decide to use the Pokeball. This ends up giving me another Togepi. I'm not going to put it on my bench just yet because I do have a Pokemon Communication. I'll wait until next turn to see what happens. Put the energy on Clefairy in attack. I didn't draw another Pokemon, so I decided to gamble it, use a Pokemon Communication, put that Togepi back in my deck. Hopefully I can draw something, and I end up drawing Togetic, which is perfect. So I evolve Togepi into Togetic, attach an energy to it, and have Clefairy deal more damage again. My opponent putting Mew in the active spot really puzzled me for a minute. I had to think exactly what I wanted to do next. I end up deciding, you know what, I'm going to use a Cyrus to bring that Darkrai into the active spot again, and then I'm going to move my Clefairy, retreat him, put him on the bench, put Togetic in the active spot, and attack Darkrai. This way, Clefairy stays alive, and I'm able to do even more damage onto Darkrai. It ends up being my turn again, and I draw a Professor's Research. I end up using it, and luckily I draw a Sabrina and a Clefable, which is perfect. Evolve Clefairy into Clefable. I'm going to attach an energy to it, and now I'm going to retreat Togetic for Clefable and have Clefable attack Darkrai. The opponent using Dawn doesn't really make any sense. I thought once they used it, he was going to then retreat Darkrai to put the other Darkrai in, but instead, he just ends his turn. End up putting Rocky Helmet on Clefable. Now I'm able to use Magical Shot, knock out that Darkrai, get 2 points. I used the Pokeball to get a Togepi. Now I'm going to use a Pokemon Communication to see if I can switch Togepi with Togekiss. And I end up getting Togekiss, which is perfect. I evolve Togetic into Togekiss. I decide here, you know what, let's retreat Clefable because it's almost dead, put Togekiss in, let it use Overdrive Smash for 60, and now I know next turn it'll deal 120, and I have that Cynthia on deck, so it'll be 170, and I can destroy any one of his Pokemon to win the game next turn. It's my turn. I go ahead, end up using Cynthia. Now, attack with Overdrive Smash, and that Darkrai is gone.